Hi guys, this is Drew from Get to Japan.
And this is Fab.
How's everyone doing today? We're just coming at you with our first ever collaborative video. It's kind of difficult because I'm still in Canada and Fabstar, as we all know, is in Japan now. So it is currently 11 p.m. for you, right?
Yes, it's 11 p.m.
And he's exhausted, he's had a long day, and I'm just starting my day, hence the bags under my eyes are for different reasons because I just woke up. So, so yeah, we're going to give this a first shot as our first ever collaborative video, and we're just going to explain to you today the whole idea for GETtoJAPAN, GETtoJAPAN.com, and our 6-step process that we kind of created together collaboratively. So, just starting off, where did it come from, Fab? Where did this idea come from?
Well, basically, when we tried to get to Japan and prepare for going to Japan, we found, you start with Google, basically, right?
Yeah.
And then you find tons of information floating around, and it's really overwhelming because you don't know where to start. Because if you type in, getting to Japan or, how to get to Japan, you get thousands or millions of hits.
Yep.
And you don't know, it's really hard to tell, which information are good and which not.
Also, another reason we kind of thought of this whole process and the whole idea for the website is that a lot of people assume that it's really hard to fit Japan and Japanese into their daily life, into their lifestyle, and to make it something tangible and realistic for them to achieve, right? So it's something that they can't see themselves committing enough motivation to. They don't know how to go about motivating themselves to do it. They don't know where to find the information, the materials. They just basically don't think that they can achieve fluency, right? And we're here to tell you that no, that's not true. You can achieve fluency. You can achieve native-like fluency. You can speak Japanese pretty darn well, depending on what your goals are and your aims are. But we'll talk about that in a moment.
So that's where actually the idea came to us. Where we were like, wouldn't it be so much easier if there would be just a simple process explaining us step by step how to do what, what and when, and where to get the necessary information, and where you have to just all you need to know to get to Japan.
Yeah, all the way up to the final step where you're finally in Japan and you're realizing your dream of being there. And it's not some multi-step, puzzle that you have no idea how to put together, right? It's just a simple few-step process that anyone can follow, right? So, and that's really what it is when you break it down like we broke it down. So let's just try and quickly go through the steps here, Fab. So I'll start off with step one, which is step one, and this is probably the most important goal and is the most overlooked goal as well at the same time, is motivation and goal setting. This is something that is extremely important, and it's going to keep you on track no matter what. So it's going to keep you on track in the face of demotivation. It's going to keep you on track in the face of no support from maybe your parents or your friends or your family, discouraging you, because it's happened to myself, and I'm sure it's happened to you, Fab, too, enough times. What you really have to do is make an appointment with yourself, and we're going to obviously explain this in our process, and we've already done a little bit of explaining already, to really just sit down and think exactly what you want, what you're expecting out of your out of this commitment to yourself, and write it down.
Yes, step two is basically plugging yourself into study material, because you have such a great variety. You have online resources. You have regular learning software on your computer. You have study books, traditional books. You have classes you can take. Well, then maybe if you have online classes, there's so many ways, so many options you can choose from. It makes it really hard. And we want to provide you some information about what are the advantages and the disadvantages about the different study methods.
Yeah.
So what's good about going to a class? What's good about studying online? What's good about having just regular study books and writing things down?
Yeah. Moving on to step three, which we call the initial preparation phase. So this is when you've kind of plugged yourself in. You know what your goals are. Now you want to start looking for exactly where you want to be, right? So whether you want to just go there for travel and tourism for a while, whether you want to work there, whether you want to study abroad there. This phase is very important and it's very crucial, and this phase is a lot of documentation that you have to go through depending on what path you're going for. So this is where really you've got, this is like the information digging and gathering stage. So we're also going to provide that information for every facet for throughout the spectrum of how to get to Japan, so every way to get there.
Then after you chose your way, if you made the decision, like how do you want to go to Japan, or like what do you want to do there, you have to start with the actual preparation. You have to start applying. If you want to study at a school in Japan, you have to apply. If you want to go to language school, then you have to apply at the language school. Then you have to prepare. You have to get your visa,
Yep.
and visa application is
It's a long process, annoying process.
very long process. It takes a lot of time.
Yep, and it's a lot of back and forth between you and Japan, right? So,
yeah.
So moving on to step 5, after arrival. So this is the departure phase where we've actually landed in Japan, and believe it or not, it's not done here yet. There's actually a lot of things in this phase. Another complete headache of hassles that you have to go through in your first week to month in Japan, depending on how what good your Japanese is, how integrated you are. But hopefully through us getting that information up there, you're going to be prepared for it. You're going to know, because when myself and Fab got there, we had no idea. Like, it was basically like our university told us, here's a piece of paper of the places you have to go and do it, which is good in some ways, because, it really got us out there, and it made us really try for ourselves and get our own cell phones, get our own alien registration cards, our own bank account. So, it's a huge process, and there's a lot of things you have to do and take care of in that initial phase when you finally arrived. After that, you can kind of relax for a bit, and then we move into step 6, which is the cultural
adaptation phase. So there's a lot. It's like there's a lot of I would say emotional stuff you have to handle, and a lot of hurdles you have to take, because it's not so easy. You can't just go into a totally different environment and think everything will be fine. That's usually not how it works. I mean, if you've been abroad for some time, you will realize that it's like in the beginning everything is cool, and then you encounter some problems, then you feel a little bit depressed, and then you get adjusted to it. And
so this step is, I think, actually in all the steps, this one is the most rich in information that we can share and experience, because this one's just huge. It encompasses so much. Yeah. So step 6 is going to be a big one, and it's really never ending, because a lot of it's really theories and just kind of what me and Fab talk about all the time, in kind of adaptation and where Japan is, and in respect to looking at foreigners and how foreigners integrate themselves into society, how they adapt being away from their home environment, how they adapt going back to their home environment after. That's a huge one too.
Reverse culture shock.
Reverse culture shock. So there's tons of stuff to talk about, guys, that we're really excited to share with you. Yeah. So really, this is our whole aim of everything with this website, with GETtoJAPAN.com, is really we want to be like the Google of Japanese information, and valuable information that's going to help you guys. We're going to kind of basically be like the Google, and we're going to filter all the crap out, basically, right? So we're just going to have the really good stuff for you. And really our promise to you is that we've done it. We've been there. We've done it. We've been there as tourists. Myself and Fabian have gone there separately on our own way before we met each other, right? And it's all there in the About Us too. You guys should check that out. We've both been there as students. Fabian's there working right now, and I myself will be there working there soon as well, hopefully. Fingers are crossed, but hopefully in the next 6 months or so. I'm not putting any promises down yet, but we'll have these collaborative videos side by side in the same room, in the same time zone, right? So that's something to look forward to as well. Any last words or before we end this video?
I think we covered it all.
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. All right, so we'll see you guys in the next video shortly, hopefully. Okay? Take care.
Bye.